It's been a couple months since my last video, but I was working. So yeah, I got a job in like fruit picking / working in a fruit shop, which was really fun. And most of the time my days consisted of usually picking strawberries in the morning, which that is not fun because the strawberries are on the floor, so it's just like hours of bending over and picking strawberries. And then I would usually go and pack them in the shop, which that was fine, that was easy. And then it was kind of 50-50 whether I worked in the shop or out in the fields, and obviously I preferred working in the shop. It was much nicer. It was mainly just like cleaning, packing fruit, and working the like till, which I love to do. And then other days I worked mostly in the fields, and so that I did with, there were some other backpackers, like one girl from the Czech Republic and then a couple girls from Germany, and so they were really nice. And then there was also a group of like 15 or so guys from Vanuatu, and Vanuatu is, I think, like an island close to Fiji. A lot of them come to New Zealand to make money and then go back home. And so these guys, they like come and work for like 6 months, half the year 7 months, and then they go back home, and that like sustains them. In those days I worked in the fields with them, and that was mostly picking fruit. And so a lot of like thinning apple trees because those still aren't ready to be harvested yet, which is making sure that the branches can hold whatever the fruit's on there. So most of the time 5 or 6 apples are like growing in a clump, and you have to reduce them to just 2. So that was a lot of thinning. And then most of the picking was so the strawberries, and then a lot of stone fruit. So apricots, nectarines, plums, peaches, and then so many cherries. And that was good because it's a lot of snacking. The only like really unpleasant part is that we had to work a lot with a ladder, and the ladders were just really heavy and like hard to drag around all the time. The owner had 2 different fruit shops. So one was in Bayview and then the other one was in Hastings, and they're about 30 minutes apart. So I would kind of flip back and forth between the 2 locations. And for the living situations, I would just stay in my van and then use the bathroom and kitchen of whichever shop I was staying at. Birds always got caught in, so that was ordeals every time. In our free time, or if we ever finished early at the fruit shop in Bayview, there was a beach behind the orchards and everything. So a lot of times I just went and laid out by the water, and the guys went fishing a lot of the time. They offered me fish, but it was really like fresh fish just stabbed with the stick that they were like roasting over the fire like a marshmallow. So I did not partake. I know some of you might be upset that I didn't, but it was for my own tummy. I was looking out for her. And then on days where we really had a day off, we would either go into town, which was Napier, which was like in between the 2 shops, and that's a funky little town because it's like Art Deco. It's like the capital of Art Deco or something. Yeah, like the architecture is pretty Art Deco-y, all the like street signs. It was really funky. And then also randomly, like going through the thrift stores, there's so much like New Orleans merch and some LSU gear. It's just weird what makes it all the way over here. And I also went to a rodeo in one of the towns. I did a couple little hikes or touristy visits around the area, and one was to this waterfall that I loved. I went back a couple times because it was just so peaceful there, and there was rarely like too many people. And then I went on a hike to insert name here because I don't remember it. And that was really nice too. Lots of gorgeous views. Yeah, a good 2 months, but I'm glad it's over with and I can get back on the road. Me and Aubergine taking on the rest of New Zealand.